All right, so for the first question, with the experience, so when they're traveling in like the airport and on the plane and everything, this is still time of segregation, and they are darker skinned. So in a way, they need to act like better than they would anywhere else. This is a time where they're not allowed to be kids and they're not allowed to be silly because they're already looked down upon so much that they need to act super polite in public. I know that there was like a dispute with the flight attendant and everything like that, but they just have to be on their absolute best behavior, which is, hard to do when you're, a younger kid. When the girls arrive at mother's apartment, it's not any better. It's a little more relaxed than being out in public because they're not being discriminated against because their mother is also dark skinned. But at the same time, their mother enforces extremely strict rules, or I shouldn't even say their mother, Cecile. Cecile, enforces really strict rules, and they don't have a lot of freedom in the household, so they're expected to, be these perfect daughters, even though their mother abandoned them. And so then when they get to Black Panther, they get to have a little more freedom. There's a little more joy in it because they're able to play with kids and they're able to do classes and everything like that. But at the same time, it's not all great. They still have to, watch themselves due to the prejudices against them. I don't even think I said that correctly. But the overall, like, these girls really just have to watch themselves because, it's a time where they are just not respected in any form or fashion. So they can't act like children. As for the second question, I think the names really represent change, but not being able to change. It's really, the names represent not willing to change. So, like, the Fern versus Little Girl, so, like, she called her Little Girl because Cecile didn't get to name Fern. So, instead of calling her Fern because she doesn't like that name, she called her Little Girl. She just kind of like refuses to kind of go with that change in her mind, and they don't like that. Idlewild versus JFK is the same thing. She's just set in her ways. The Cecile versus Mother versus, I'm going to say Nazilla. I don't actually know how to pronounce that. I'm going to say Nazilla. She doesn't want to be called Cecile, and she doesn't want to be called Mother. It's just one of those things that they, they're not willing to change. They're not willing to change. She's not willing to change her name, and they're not willing to call her mother, so they kind of have like a meet in the middle point. So it's really just, it's not wanting to change, it's just not being willing to change, if that makes any sense.